Right, welcome back. My name is Julie Masiga. We'll start with a quick recap of the Twitter poll. And we asked you, do you think foreign countries are trying to influence the 2017 general election? Do you think foreign countries are trying to influence the 2017 general election? You can reach me at Julie Masiga, at KTN News, hashtag news sources. Right, now it is exactly 2 weeks since the doctors' strike started, and the headline stance could not be greater. Doctors' representatives were today in court where they were summoned, and they maintained their stance that no amount of intimidation by the state would see them call off the strike. The doctors want nothing short of full implementation of the collective bargaining agreement.
We went to the court so that people can see us, so that the rumors can stop. And to our dismay, the court has become a mouthpiece for the government. And I want to say this, that we really respect our judges, we really respect the court. And when we were issuing the 21-day strike notice, the first person that we copied was the Chief Justice. And that means that they had everything, even themselves, to do something to prevent this strike from happening. As at this particular time, the doctors want only one thing: CBA. The doctors have been told for a very long time, you can't, we don't want this, go back, Hippocratic oath, nonsense. This time round, it's the CBA.
Right, the government's stalling there, or trying to get off on a technicality, and we've seen this happening before. Now the court has said this strike is illegal. Which way forward? What do we do now?
Again, the court becomes a problem, and I think I want to agree with SG. Right. That, the industrial court in this case is a very important player insofar as CBAs are concerned. It is called a tripartite agreement. On one side is an employer, employee, and the government. Whenever you are in this process, the government is always part of it through the Ministry of Labor. And after you sign, CBAs by their negotiated deals, right? Through groups. So once you sign it, it must be registered with the industrial court to take effect. So I'm also surprised that now industrial court is behaving as if these things are very strange to them. Yeah, it should enforce the law. That if actually this party sat down and agreed on these things, then there's only one route out of it: implementation.
But there was talk that since 2013 and now the agreement has lapsed and they need to renegotiate. Could that be the problem here?
No, there's no such a thing. Because if it was registered, it became a legal document.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the challenges that we have in this country is it's courts that thinking that every Kenyan is it's very silly, especially the industrial court. In the history of the industrial court in this country, it has never stood by any industrial action. It has never said that this strike or this protest or this demonstration is justified. If you look from the time teachers, from the time teachers protested up to the time watchmen protested, the industrial court has never stood by
There's
them.
never been a legal strike in this country.
There's never been a legal strike in this country. And what the government is trying to do is trying to portray the doctors' strike as just an issue of money
and morality.
The doctor's strike is not just an issue of, the CBA has several sections.
Right.
And one of the sections is the training of doctors. Julie, you'll be so shocked to know that in this country we have only 7 neurosurgeons. Like if your brain went IY and you needed some operation, only be
I believe that already happened, so I think I'm in problems.
You'll only be depending on 7 people. You'll also be very, very shocked that in this country we have only 3 institutions that offer postgraduate training, for doctors. These Aga Khan, these KNH, and this boy. And also be shocked that in this country, if you are a doctor and you want to train as a specialist, either you want to become a neurosurgeon, you want to become a gynecologist, you want to become
pediatrician,
all that stuff. That there's no scheme that you can go for the training while you are still earning.
But
you have to resign
are you
first.
saying that if they give them everything else apart from the money, it will be fine?
The CBA, other than the cash, the CBA has, I think, 8 or 11 components. And these are some of the things that the government doesn't want to come out. Probably you might be close to people who are doctors. I'm very close to guys who are doctors.
Right.
And they live worse off than journalists. And Oruko keeps on crying that as a journalist, they have to live in Kenya.
But there's also the claim, Gisesa and Oruko, that these doctors work in public hospitals, but they also have private practice. So they're not sleeping hungry as we speak, many of them.
Because they want ends to meet. They want ends to meet.
But then this kind of dilutes the cause.
No. That's now going beyond what you're supposed to see, right? And I also don't believe that engaging into private practice now becomes illegal. It's not.
It's not illegal,
Yeah.
but then the whole point of the matter is that their conditions must improve for them to work. But perhaps they don't even need to be working in those hospitals.
In the last 10 years, the quality of living for policemen has improved, I can say over that 300% in terms of salary, in terms of where they stay. The quality of soldiers has improved. The quality of teachers has improved. The quality of watchmen has improved. Is it wrong for the country to improve the quality of doctors? The way they live. Is it wrong?
Why are we even taking that route? There's a CBA. There's an agreement.
Yes.
A CBA simply means...
Being a legal agreement, there must be a way that the government will find a loophole.
Yes, the government committed itself. These things, clause by clause, I don't know how many clauses there are. There are about maybe 40 clauses about annual leave, training, and all those things are covered in a CBA.
Right.
Like the last time, I think when I saw the Kenya Union of Journalists, it had about 29 clauses. All these things you sit down and negotiate slowly by slowly, one by one, and painstakingly so. It doesn't take one day. It doesn't take up to 6 months.
But the doctor should
to
have
the point
known that
where the
perhaps
government...
there was an element of a lack of good faith on the side of the government, because this has happened before.
That's true.
Hold the thought, sticking with matters, moving on to matters education, some 24,000 standard 8 candidates have been selected to join over 100 national schools. In selection results announced today by Education Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, another 133,000 candidates will join county schools, as 65,000 head to extra county learning centers. Close to 500,000 standard 8 leavers have also been chosen to be students in sub-county schools. Matiang'i says the transition rate from primary to secondary school has increased to 84%, up from 82% last year.
We have completed Form 1 selection for both national and extra-county schools today. I can't see many of the extra-county schools here. They may have stayed away thinking that it's the old system where we start first of all with the national schools. No, we have completed selection for all of them too. So in a few minutes' time, we are going to go live online, and all our students, both those who have been selected to national schools and those who have been selected to extra-county schools, can actually download their letters of admission.
Tough talker, Matiang'i, talks tough, man of action. I think you should be the man of the year, personally. What are your thoughts on this?
I'll support you. I think he has shocked many Kenyans. And Matiang'i reminds me of the real need for change. You know, change can also be very nice and good.
Right.
You know, things are just happening and you don't believe them, but actually they're happening. One, did he say that results are KCSE before Christmas?
Before Christmas, yes.
Yeah, so these things, people are now realizing change is not necessarily very bad.
But let me put
Try
you to task
something.
on this, Oruko. This is actually a Jubilee government initiative, which is working spectacularly. Can you give them
It may not be true.
And actually,
it may not be true. It may just be his own initiative.
What do you mean? He works for the he's working on behalf of the
It's
state.
hypothetical. It is hypothetical.
It is not hypothetical. It's facts on the
I'm
ground.
arguing,
Yes.
Philosophically, there are always two sides to something.
No.
That possible.
You just started off by saying that it's very good.
It's a government. It's a government initiative. But he wants to continue saying that it's Matiang'i, it's personal
He's working
initiative.
on behalf
but
of the
Matiang'i
state.
works
It could
on
be.
behalf of the government.
Yes.
And for these reasons, for him to have made these steps, he can't do it alone. And that's the reason during the launch of the KCP results, he was accompanied by the Interior Cabinet Secretary and the one for ICT. And this move that they have done today, which I was also not expecting to be there, that you can download your admission letter from online, it's in conjunction with the Ministry of ICT. And if there's, sometimes you look at this country and you wonder, why is Matiang'i the Education Minister and William Ruto the Deputy President, or Uhuru Kenyatta?
I want to know what you mean by that.
Exactly what does he mean?
But because in a very few months that he's been the Minister for Education,
right.
He's done.
You can see
just a
tangible change on the ground. Yes.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
And if you have read proper history, the world is changed by individuals, not by institutions.
Not by government.
Matiang'i could not have turned around the education sector as
He has the
single-handedly.
powers to command everybody around him, pull them along, you know.
Yes, he's
Yes.
pulling along an entire
Yes.
team of people who are working
Yes.
in the sector, so he's not working
They have
alone.
been there. What were they doing?
Oruko needs to
What were they
work
doing?
with government first.
No.
They were-
I am not refusing what I'm
They
saying.
might have had a problem with leadership,
Yes.
but they were still there
So
capable
that's
of
what
working.
leadership can
So
do. He provided it, right?
Yes, and what I am saying is
Yeah.
he is a leader within the Jubilee administration.
No, that's
He's
what-
part of the state machinery at this point.
I think while
Yes.
the rest of the guys get E's and the D's,
Right.
Matiang'i has got an A. And if he goes ahead to release the exams before Christmas, as he has said, you know, education in this country has been a cartel. And one of the things
It
that
is, I think.
teachers want Matiang'i to do is that there are two sets of there's the original that the teachers mark,
Right.
which is photocopied or scanned and kept. The teachers want Matiang'i, when he's releasing the result, to make sure that he also releases 2 copies of those, so as to reveal that this exam has not been interfered. That is what has been happening before, that schools and the candidates get marks that they did not earn.
So if it is the Jubilee initiative, a very good one, why don't you apply the same, for example, the war against corruption?
That's a good question.
Now, why can't you
What is
apply
it about this particular Jubilee leader that is lacking in all the others? What do you think?
No, it is only him who is doing his work.
We also forget
It's individual effort.
we also forgetting it's not just Matiang'i. There's also Professor Magwa, you know, the bulldozer, the former University of Nairobi Vice Chancellor, who has also played a key role as as the head of NEC. They also something that also trying to forget.
No, we can forget him because actually this role cannot be seen hands-on. And you guys are just trying to prop up names of people who are maybe have not done things, have just been pushed or pulled by a tipper.
Well, there are other people like Amina Mohammed in this Jubilee administration who seems to be doing quite a good job
Oh,
where she
really?
is.
You believe so?
Well, by going by reports
That's a
in the
failed
press.
Minister for Foreign Affairs. Failed badly.
What do you mean failed?
I mean,
Compare and contrast to other non-performers in this government.
okay. I don't know, but she's worse. Down there. Matiang'i is in his own league. Don't try to mix this water and oil. Do not mix.
Just give credit where credit is due.
Yes, what Matiang'i are giving.
This is one sector within this Jubilee administration that has actually has excelled.
Yeah,
things have changed.
Because of an individual, right?
Either way, whichever way you think about it.
It's not just about an individual. It's maybe an individual works, a teamwork, people, because you are not able to do it alone.
But we can only say what we can see, what we can put our hands on, right?
What Matiang'i has done.
That, for example, I know the reason why you're praising Amina Mohammed, for example, is that we have been holding high conferences. Diplomacy is not about conferences.
All right,
relationships.
We shall agree to disagree on that one. Earlier today in the Twitter poll, tonight, we asked you, do you think foreign countries are trying to influence the 2017 general election? I will just read some of your responses here. Ibrahim Magara says no. Uhuru ascended to power in the guise of claiming Kenya back from imperialism. He's just doing it again. Mugambi Rothschild says Kikuyus will not be swindled by the mafia elites. Again, we have become puppets. That's a controversial tweet there. Washira Ngigi says, to safeguard the integrity of this show, well, some of us are being accused of being a bit on the ODM side, but that's neither here nor there. Magara says, no, Uhuru has in the past used external interference as a campaign card. He is doing it again. Well, for the Twitter poll, 66% of you said no, there's no foreign interference, and 34% of you said yes. Well, that is our show right there. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Gisessa, Oruko, it's been a very energetic and robust discussion. Thank you for joining us at home. My name is Julie Masiga. We will be back. I will be back tomorrow for the Ladies' Night edition. Please do join me. Thank you for watching and good night.